Cognitive dissonance is a term used to defend the spinning globe belief. Yet do we understand what the term really means? As we suffer from this experience daily. Please, if you can, sit back and relax. This is the feeling of uncomfortable tension which comes from holding two conflicting thoughts in the mind at the same time. So for the purpose of this upload, the globe Earth versus the flat Earth. Now, dissonance increases with how important the subject is to us, and people will defend the globe like it's their very own child. How strongly the dissonant thoughts conflict. What evidence does a flat earther show? And what have they got in response? And vice versa. And lastly, our inability to rationalise and explain away the conflict. CGI pictures and videos, ISS, satellites, courtesy of the space agencies, and the billions of other planets, galaxies and universes. But all CGI and video composites, always, my friends, with a dash of your imagination. Yet dissonance is most powerful when it is about one's self-image. Those feelings of foolishness, immorality, and so on, including internal projections during decision making, are all dissonance in action. Cognitive dissonance appears in virtually all evaluations and decisions and is the central mechanism by which we experience new differences in the plane world. Like when we see other people behave differently to our images of them, when we hold any conflicting thoughts, we're experiencing dissonance, friends. Dissonance increases with the importance and impact of the decision, along with that difficulty of reversing it. Discomfort about making the wrong choice of car is definitely bigger than if you're choosing a lamp, for instance. Cognitive dissonance is central to many forms of persuasion to change beliefs, values, attitudes, and behaviours. The tension can be injected suddenly or be allowed to be built up over time. People can be moved in many small jumps or one very large one. Hence the noticeable shutdown of flat earth content material and uploaders on the topic at hand on many of the social media platforms. When you start feeling uncomfortable, stop and see if you can find the inner conflict. Then notice how that conflict came about. If it was somebody else who put that conflict there, then it's you who can decide not to play with that anymore. So if the FE community or the movement or any individual is bringing any of you Helio believers down, then you do not have to carry on anymore. So for anyone who wants to debate and challenge, then I must ask that you try and prove your belief without a computer-generated image or video of a globe. You will find this very challenging. Just like trying to find a magical elevation drop to the Earth in order to mathematically determine its actual shape. Do you think you really have a true map of Earth if the shape of Earth cannot be identified without a curve somewhere on the surface of it? The Mercator map looks very different as a globe, friends. Have you ever realised that? It doesn't even fit. It's an entirely different map called the orthograph world map that most people do not even know about. But I digress. How many of you can stick water to a spinning ball from the outside of it as you hurtle it as hard and as fast as you can through the luminiferous ether? I would handsomely bet nobody can. Yet most people believe this is possible. How is it remotely possible, without the word gravity, to explain it? This is very challenging. We can also call this disconfirmation bias, when people are faced with evidence for and against their beliefs. They will be more likely to accept the evidence that supports their beliefs with little scrutiny, yet criticize and reject that which disconfirms with their beliefs. Generally, we will avoid or discount evidence that might show us to be wrong when we're in person. But when people are behind a computer or a phone screen as a keyboard warrior, you will find people very cruel and very evil indeed, regardless of the topic or belief or evidence presented. The flat earth is not a religion of any kind or any sort of cult. We are people who have opened our eyes to a world that is not a computer-generated image. That's all. We are autonomous, and the powers that be really have to keep this detained. Autonomy can be defined as the ability of the person to make his or her own decisions, being in control of your own life, if you will, in a very different way to the indoctrinated. Most flat earthers, if not all flat earthers, are autonomous now in nature, whether they realize this or not. This is such a fantastic ability to have in our conscious human nature experiences, and even better when one becomes aware of it consciously. Knowledge truly is power, friends, and a free-thinking society is not in the best interest of any such government. Yet I must add, most people who follow a religion are generally a lot happier than those who do not. How many agnostics are truly spiritually happy inside? Well, you don't have a spirit for a start. But whether or not it's true, friends, faith gives you security of knowing such comforts that you and yours will survive death and may be forgiven for your sins. It also gives meaning to lives and may well promote a healthy lifestyle. Certainly not a bad thing. Sadness depresses the immune system as well as the mood. Happiness acts in the opposite way. Being healthy surely beats being unhealthy, doesn't it? And happiness and health are thus a two-way casual street. And the flat earth really makes you happy, friends. This is why the information gets suppressed. The powers that be don't want mass happiness, only mass panic and fear. And it's getting worse now. Our smiles are being covered up with masks. However, I wish you could see the smile on my Chevy Chase right now. It's the knowledge that comes with it, friends, that's all. To see the earth for what she really is. One very special, geocentric, electromagnetic, eco-battery system. The centre of all creation, like your beating heart, is the centre of it all. And heart is an anagram of earth. Subliminals are hidden suggestions that only your subconscious perceives. They can be audio, hidden behind music, or visual, airbrushed into a picture, flashed on a screen so fast that you don't consciously see them, or cleverly incorporated into a picture or design. How many of you see a globe every single day of the week? Think about this, and please be aware of them and how we are all open to their powers of persuasion. It's you that will always hold the power to see the earth for what it really is. Open your eyes to a world that is not a computer-generated image. The earth is flat, resting upon its very waters. There is only one geocentric system. Thanks for your time. I can't wait to see you in the next one. Space to roam. Stay safe out there, friends. This was Nee B.